We're going to go ahead and get started here. Like I said, we usually start a few minutes after the hour just to give folks a couple minutes to get here. So happy to see everyone. Like you can see in the chat there, please share where you're from. Thank you so much, Michelle. Glad to see you here from Seattle. And I'm here in beautiful Stowe, Vermont, which I will put that in the chat right now. And so happy to see our good friend Deborah there. Hi, Deborah. And
Hi, Ben.
Great to see you. We got Maryland, we got Georgia. So we got east to west going. And I know Deborah's here from Tennessee. She's a regular we love seeing here. We got Laverne from Stone Mountain, Georgia, not all that far away from Eva in Atlanta. And Chad's there from New Jersey. Welcome from Jersey, Chad. All right, so happy that you guys could join us. Like I said, we usually do have folks join us from during the workshop, so we will see some other people come trickling in as well. But don't let me hold you up at all. We want to go ahead and start, but I want to go over a couple things first. I want to make sure that you feel free to share. You know, you can put things in the chat, but also feel free to raise a hand or share your thoughts and get some feedback. And, you know, we're excited you could join us for this workshop. We have some other workshops we've started called the Distractions workshop, focused and free, which, you know, a lot of us need nowadays. We also have our True Self project that's getting ready to come out. And we have a new class that's going to be starting first of the year, I believe, January 8th. Last year we had Thrive in 25. This year we'll be doing a new course as well to help you kick off the year right, set big goals, and live the year habitually inspired, achieving your goals. And welcome from Minnesota. So happy to see you. So feel free to share, whether you just raise your hand and be on camera, take yourself off mute, and share after we have some of these exercises. You can do that. You can also put any comments that you want into the chat, like you've been doing on your location. So really feel free to share. We all get so much more out of this when it's interactive and we're able to share what we're working on or some of the challenges that we've addressed before. So as we get going here now, I also want to take a moment. We usually start our workshops with a grounding exercise. So by that, I want you to take just a moment here. We're going to take maybe about 3 minutes to get grounded, to be fully present here, to make this time for yourself. This is about aligning your habits with your true self and your big goals and dreams. So you want to be fully present here. Now, we will make the recording available to everyone, as well as all of the resources that we're going to go through today. So let's go ahead and get grounded. Let's do this first by closing your eyes, or drop your gaze down low if closing your eyes isn't comfortable, and be in a comfortable seated position. And you can put your hands on your lap, or maybe just fold them, right in front of your belly, and just take a moment to breathe. Just find your regular breath and pay attention to your breath. Just breathing normally, in and out through your nose if possible. Just notice the breath coming in and going out, air coming in and going out, an inhale followed by an exhale. If you can, you may want to pay attention to the air coming in and out just at the tip of your nostrils. You can also feel your diaphragm raising and lowering, maybe even feel the air passing over that little space between the bottom of your nose and the top of your lip. Just take a few moments in silence to breathe in and breathe out. We're just going to do this for about 30 seconds. Just get grounded and fully present. Now that you've found some calm and returned to your breath, let's all together, we're going to take a big inhale through our nose. We're going to hold it at the top and then sigh it out. We're going to do that 3 times. So join me. Start by taking a big inhale through your nose. Take little sips of air so you have air deep down the bottom of your chest. Then hold it at the top and then sigh it out. 2 more of those. Deep inhale through your nose. As much air as you can deep down into the bottom of your belly. Hold it at the top. 2, 3, 4, and sigh it out. And 1 more of those. Deep, deep belly breath. Take in as much air as you can deep down into the bottom of your lungs. And then hold it at the top. And sigh it out. Then just take a few more minutes to do what we did before the deep breaths. And just return to your natural breath. Breathing in and breathing out through your nose. Finding calm and peace. And just return to the breath. Just focus on the breath. Don't focus on any thoughts. Thoughts will come and go, and you just let them go like clouds floating through the sky. And just return to the breath. We'll do that, and then I promise we're going to work on setting big habits and goals. Just let all the distractions, the busyness, just fall away. You're here to find clarity, confidence, and excitement in your daily life. Not to worry about your to-do list or what's happening tomorrow, but just to be here and be present. As we start to wrap up this grounding exercise, take a moment to think of a time that you felt most yourself, when you felt like your true self, happy, strong, powerful, calm, peaceful. What were you doing? Who were you with? Why does this stand out? Just take a moment to visualize time you felt most yourself and return to your breath. Now start to bring some presence back here. If you want, you can flutter your eyes a little bit, maybe wiggle your fingers and toes and bring some energy back in to the present moment. So if you've struggled to stay consistent, meaning with your habits and your goals, and you've allowed yourself to get distracted, it's not that you're falling short in life. You may just have been trying to force a version of success that wasn't aligned with who you truly are. Today, we're going to reset that, and we're going to rebuild from your true self. As you can tell by the new 30-day habit challenge that we have coming out, the True Self Project, we've been focusing a lot over the last year on this concept of your true self. That when you align with your true self, when your habits and goals are aligned with who you're meant to be, you're able to accomplish everything you've ever dreamed about. And I know this may sound far-fetched, but I've been working on this for years now, and I'm going to save you all the time I put into it and give you the helpful tools that have allowed me to live a life of love, happiness, and bliss, and to live the life of my dreams, which I used to think wasn't possible or was getting away from me. Now, let me tell you what we're going to talk about today and what we're going to cover over about the next, 60 to 75 minutes. And that is, we're going to discuss first why most goals fail. Next, how to set the right goals. And then how to build supportive habits. And lastly, how to get back up when life throws you off track, meaning how to get past the roadblocks that knock us off of our goals. So if you're ready, and that sounds good, come on, we're going to have some fun here, and we're going to do some exercises between each of these sections. So there are 4 sections, and we're going to have a short exercise between each one. Now, you're also going to hear a lot of quotes, and I love this quote by Napoleon Hill, who said, "Desire is the starting point of all achievement, not a hope, not a wish, but a keen, pulsating desire which transcends everything." So if you have a desire to make this your best year ever, and actually, let's say if you have a desire to make 2026 your best year ever and move past all that has held you back from living in complete happiness and bliss, then we are going to turn that desire into action. We're going to mold that burning desire for love, happiness, and success into real action that you can take today to live the life of your dreams. So we're going to do this by aligning your dreams with your habits. So, how do I know this works? Like I said, I've been doing this for over 7 years now. It took me a ton of trial and error and learning to get to a point where my big goals and my daily habits are aligned so I can live the life of my dreams every day. And with 5 kids ranging from 4 to 17 and running 2 businesses, I have to be focused and disciplined to ensure that we can all live happy and productive lives, meaning our whole family of 7 people. It's a lot. And it takes a lot to live the life of your dreams every day, but with a system and a strategy to do it, you can do that every day. Like I said, I used to feel like I was on a hamster wheel and not getting anywhere. And then I dedicated a whole bunch of time, learning, and mistakes to live the life of my dreams. And I want the same for you. So if that sounds good to you, then let's go ahead and get going. So don't worry, it's not going to be hard. I know those sound like big, lofty aspirations to live the life of your dreams, but you can do it. And we've created resources and a system for you to do that. So this isn't going to be hard. It just requires a system that works for you. So I'm going to show you what that is today at a high level. And then, you can do something like the True Self Project or our course to get even deeper in depth into it. So first, I want to talk about, our course that we had at the beginning of 2025. And we're going to start with discussing why goals fail. So at the beginning of this year, we held an amazing, inspiring 8-week course called Thrive in 25, which was to kick the year off right by implementing our big goals. And we had, parents, professionals, and entrepreneurs from across the world join us. And at the start of the course, I shared a statistic that less than 9% of adults achieve one New Year's goal or resolution, meaning 91% of adults who set goals reach 0 of them. And those are the people who set goals. So that means it's more like, 97% of people don't achieve any goals because a bunch of people don't set any. So some of the common reasons goals don't stick. First, an unclear vision. Second, external pressure or distractions, which distractions get a lot of us. Third, an unrealistic pace, meaning you may set a big goal, but you're trying to achieve it in a time that's not realistic in order to get there. So you may need to look at making a realistic time frame to hit a big goal. And lastly, and perhaps most importantly that we're going to talk about, is a lack of identity alignment, meaning your goals are not aligned with your true self. And we're starting with goals because we need goals in order to create habits to hit those goals. So another quote I love is that we're kept from our goal, not by obstacles, but by a clear path to a lesser goal. We're always taking detours and getting off the highway to our dreams, not because it's too hard or too far, but because we're distracted by what's right in front of us. These folks were climbing their way to the summit of the mountain when they saw a sign that said, "Great view over here." So they ran over the sign, they looked at the overlook, and then they realized that the summit is way over there. They got off track because they were distracted by that clear path to a lesser goal. They were distracted by a sign that said, "Great view over here," instead of going to the summit like these folks. They kept going to their goal. They weren't distracted by the lesser goals. They weren't distracted by all the modern distractions of life that get in our way. They kept going, arrived at the summit, and the view is so much better when you get to the summit, when you get to your goals, when you arrive at your true self. Does scrolling through news or social media get you to your goal faster? No. It fills your brain with negative inputs of others, wastes your time, and takes your mind off of what matters most. Our addictions to the phone, alcohol, drugs, and the negative news stream that's constantly yelling at us keep us from our goals. The distractions take us from what matters most, from our dreams and from our loved ones. Blaise Pascal, another famous French inventor and mathematician, said, "Distraction is the only thing that consoles us from our miseries, and yet it is itself the greatest of our miseries." Meaning distraction is the greatest of our miseries. We end up miserable because we're distracted from our goals and our dreams. So, next week we have coming up this focused and free workshop, break the distraction cycle. So we're going to eliminate distractions. We didn't intend to do that workshop, but we realized as we were doing the Aligned Habits workshop that it's so important to talk about distractions, and that distractions are what are keeping you from your true self. So that's next week, same time, same place as this workshop. We used to do every week the Aligned Habits workshop. So we started this focused and free workshop. So hopefully you can join us for that as well. So even if you're not distracted by all the modern distractions in life, which many of us are, most of us are kept from our real goals, again, by that clear path to a lesser goal, by all those little distractions. And misaligned goals create confusion, anxiety, and burnout, meaning goals that aren't aligned with your true self, or little goals that keep you distracted. Misaligned goals create confusion, anxiety, and burnout. That's why so many seemingly successful people aren't happy. They may be achieving professional and work success, but they're just accomplishing small little tasks every day. And so they may seem successful in their daily job or even be making a decent living, but inside they're unhappy because they're not aligning their daily habits with their big goals. And that creates confusion and leads to burnout. So many people are burnt out today, stressed, frazzled, anxiety-ridden, depressed. You go one way when your true self knows you need to go another way. And that creates anxiety and confusion. But clarity brings confidence, and confidence is contagious. Clarity brings confidence, and confidence is contagious. That's actually a quote that I have in my book. It's not a quote. I do love quotes from other people, but this is actually one that I made, and I hope that it sticks and resonates with you. Clarity brings confidence, and confidence is contagious. Not just for you, but for others. Others can feel that confidence when you're clear on your habits and you're clear on your goals and how you're going to get there. And we're going to help you do that today. Now, another reason goals fail, even when they are clear, is that the clear goals are not aligned with your true self. Remember, a minute ago, I said misaligned goals create confusion, anxiety, and burnout. So if your goals aren't aligned with your true self, you will burn out because you won't necessarily commit to achieving them. So we all have this small voice within us that speaks to us about wanting an amazing life and nudges us to our personal and professional dreams and clamors for love and happiness. It's that still small voice inside when you were a kid that used to dream about the things that you wanted to do, and it's always been in there. Now, those goals and dreams may change as you get older, but they don't go away. They're still there. But we try to drown them out with all these distractions. But I want you to give a megaphone to that small voice within. That is your true self and your higher power directing you where to go. When you listen to your inner voice, you are aligned and living on purpose. When you listen to that still small voice inside, when you're clear on your goals and they're aligned with your true self, you can live the life of your dreams. This alignment brings excitement and confidence to every day. When you get up and you know you're going to achieve something that you are meant to do, that is your purpose in life, that is your true self, it brings excitement and confidence. And as you move towards your goals, they get easier because you're confident and excited to undertake those goals. Now, just a quick reflection here, and that's the end of discussing why goals fail. We talked about why goals fail, misaligned goals, not aligned with your true self. We've talked about goals that are an unclear vision. You've set a goal, but you're not sure quite what it is or how you're going to get there. Maybe external pressures or distractions or an unrealistic pace. But now I just want to ask you, and you can take just a moment to do this. We'll take maybe 90 seconds or so to think of a goal that you set in the past but didn't reach. And which of these do you think got in the way? So think of a goal you may have set in the past but didn't reach. And which of these do you think got in the way? Was it could be something else as well, but these are the four most common reasons that goals fail: unclear vision, distractions, an unrealistic pace, or lack of alignment. So take, about 90 seconds to 2 minutes here. And then, feel free to share, like I said, and I'll share, goals I've set in the past that didn't work out and what I think got in the way. And now I'm very clear and very specific when I set my goals. And I also create horizons and habits in order to get me there. So take just a moment and think of a goal you set in the past but didn't reach. And which of these do you think got in the way? All right, now, if you want to share in the chat, by all means, take a couple more seconds if you need it. And I'll share here as well. One goal I set, but didn't reach, it was based on an unrealistic pace, as well as possibly, no, it had a clear vision. And that was for this company. We may talk about it later, not sure, but it was called OhmGrid. For years, I've been running a clean energy company called Blue Sky Power, helping towns and cities and schools become more resilient with clean energy. And we decided during COVID days that we were going to help people do that by getting off the grid, meaning solar, battery storage, and generators, to create people's power right there at their property. And basically get off the grid and not have to be beholden to the utility and rising electric prices and no power outages. So great idea. And, we still might implement that at some point, but it was an unrealistic pace. We were going to try to get to thousands of customers within like 3 years. And it was unrealistic. And there were some other assumptions, that we hadn't addressed yet. So we didn't get investment by the time we hoped to. And it failed miserably. And I ended up having to let a team we had built go. And it was a real struggle and very difficult time for me. And I had sort of bet everything on making that happen. So unrealistic pace really got me on that one. And now I'm much more clear and intentional about the goals and setting realistic pace and making sure it's aligned with my true self. I also don't think that was aligned with my true self. As you can tell, I love doing this. I love writing books and inspiring you. So anyone else want to share a goal they may have set in the past but didn't reach? And which of these do you, or even something else, do you think got in the way? And you can share in the chat, or you can come on camera or raise your hand if you want. Anyone want to share? Deborah. And you're still on mute, Deborah.
There we go. Better.
There we go. Hi.
Hey, Ben. Hey, Ben. Well, one of the fun things that I had as a goal is to be a really good golfer. And things that got in the way, distractions for sure. We moved, and California is very conducive to golf, and it's a little chilly right now, so we're not going to be doing that. But uh, I did kind of sit down with my husband, who's a really good golfer, and we like playing together. And we mapped out kind of a plan so that we could be golfing more, and I could learn more, and just life got in the way. And so we did end up golfing about once a week, and maybe the driving range once a week. But that kind of just went by the wayside as life got busy.
So, I mean, is that a goal you want to get back to?
Um, maybe revised a bit, but yeah, it's like, oh, that's super fun. It's just that, it's something that's worth having in my life, that it's a fun thing to do.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, those fun things, also help keep us positive, and we're doing those, and you're
Right.
enjoying them, and you're improving. It also helps those other things that are, very work related or more
Right.
mundane. Those
Right.
things that are fun that you love doing,
Exactly.
and also, you're getting out there, you're getting exercise, you're spending time with your husband. There's so many benefits. So making it a habit and then sticking to that can be productive. So I mean, as you know, and just for the other folks who are here, Deborah has joined us a few times, um, and is a great regular and has great participation here. So thanks for that, Deborah, and thanks for sharing. Chad just said your best ideas might come while golfing, and that's true.
Right.
And it's a great point as well, Chad, is that your greatest ideas don't come while you're working. Your biggest breakthroughs, even on something related to work, usually come when you're away from work. So when you are skiing or golfing or taking a walk or swimming or doing something you love, is when you have, spending time with people you care about. That's when you have the eureka moments that allow you your next big breakthrough, or you see a pathway to achieve a goal. It usually comes when you're not sitting there at a computer. So it is good to get out there.
Yeah.
Eva Marie shared that she has a goal of finishing, or had a goal of finishing her CEUs, or I think that's continuing education units, or continuing education credits, I guess, for some profession, Eva Marie. And you can add to that or come on camera if you want. Um, and allow distractions to keep unfocused and sidetracked. So I'm not sure if that led to not getting your not keeping a certification, or your license for something. I know I used to be. I'm a recovered attorney now. I used to be a finance attorney, so I used to have to take continuing education to maintain my membership in the bar. I'm
Well,
on
I
quote retired status, so I don't have to do that anymore.
well, I have a an extension, if you will, until mid-January, and yet I don't seem to get up and get them done. And it's only 20 hours.
Okay.
It's to keep my tax certification for preparing taxes,
Okay.
and I need to do that to generate the income a few months a year.
Right.
So
Well,
I just don't seem to. I don't know what the deal is.
okay. No, I get it. And a lot of times, I mean, I talked about what keeps us from our goals, and it may be you don't love doing that. I mean, I know that, I don't necessarily love doing clean energy projects, but, I still do those to support my family as I'm working on, writing books and doing workshops and courses. And, the last one there is lack of alignment. It may be, yes, distractions are getting in your way, but it may not be aligned with your true self, meaning you have some bigger goal that you want to accomplish. So you sort of push that off because you don't love doing it. I may be wrong.
Maybe. I mean, I have a passion for writing, and I'm a good writer, and I've published in the past.
Oh, great.
Life took some weird twists and turns, so I haven't published in many years.
Yeah.
And I keep hearing, if you will, that I should be going back to the writing. But of course, I need to pay my bills, as you well know, as a writer.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, and I mean, we have to do those things for a little bit, but really making sure that you allocate those time in spurts. Meaning, so we're going to get through habits. So, I mean, you should have a habit of doing those, through January, you have enough time. You have enough time to allocate, call it, what, I mean, you have to do this by January, Eva Marie?
January 5th. Well, I have to have it turned in before January 15th.
Okay.
So
I mean,
I write it on my schedule. I put 2 hour, okay, my goal today is to do 1 to 2 hours of my CEUs.
yeah.
And I don't do them. One thing or
Yeah.
another happens.
Yeah, I mean, I think first thing in the morning, it's called eat the frog. You do the hardest thing first.
Mm-hmm.
I would schedule it for 1 hour first thing in the morning before you do anything else. Get up, get it out of the way, and you will feel good the rest of the day. And I would do it,
That's a
schedule
good,
1 hour, each day. That's 5 hours a week for 4 weeks, and you'll be done in time.
that's a
Um,
good idea.
so I would definitely work on that. I'm happy to offer some more support to you if you want to. Now, Chad, you can type my email in there. I'm happy to help you. Make sure you have a plan for that. But we're going to go through, aligning your habits. But I would put that in your habit tracker over the next month, and do
Okay.
that each day.
Okay.
So yeah, Chad put it in there. It's ben@benparvey.com. You can email me. I'm happy to help support you in that.
Thank you.
And it's good to have an accountability partner too. I don't really talk about it in this workshop, but I have an accountability partner. She's an entrepreneur, owns a design firm in the Cayman Islands. We got hooked up through a global mastermind for entrepreneurs that we did about 4 or 5 years ago. Every day we text each other what our big three priorities are each day. And then at night, whether we got them done or not, whether we did one of three or two of three, it's harder to get three things done each day than you would think. And for you, you just got to get these done. So I would allocate 1 hour first thing in the morning, get up, whatever your routine is, and then schedule that time and get it done because you got to make that money next year so you get back to publishing. All right.
Thank
Let's see.
you.
Oh, you're welcome. And yeah, email me. I'm happy to help support you in that, and maybe even match you up with an accountability partner. If we have anyone else looking for an accountability partner, let us know.
That'd be awesome.
JRSSH, achieving your PhD in physician associate degree, distraction, workload, and pace of work plus program was not available until now as I'm retiring. As I look back, I realize it was not aligned with my higher self. Okay. I mean, it sounds like that was a goal that you didn't reach, and it also sounds like that's okay. I don't think you should beat yourself up. We can discuss it some more if you want, but it sounds like, if you look back and realize that it wasn't aligned with your higher self or your true self, then that's probably why you weren't getting it done. And there's no reason to beat yourself up about it. You may look back and say, I really should have gotten that done. There's no reason to. If it wasn't aligned with your true self, you weren't doing it because you weren't intended to do it. And that's okay. So yeah, let me know if you want to add anything else to that. But I mean, I think that's, if you're getting ready to retire and then trying to figure out what you're going to do, now when you grow up, I think letting that go is totally fine. Now, if you feel like you should have gotten it and want to go back, it's never too late, which we'll discuss in a little bit. It's never too late to go back and do what you should be doing. So, I appreciate everyone sharing. I love these workshops when we have people sharing because that's how we all learn together. And some workshops, it's absolute silence and we just, I keep going. So I really appreciate you guys sharing. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. I love being able to figure these things out together. So now we're going to talk about, moving on. We're talking about what's happened in the past. Now we're going to move into the future. And we're going to talk about aligning your goals with your true self so that this is the way forward. And we're going to talk about setting big, expansive goals that excite you. And aligning those goals with your true self sets you up for success. So it's good to have good habits. And, you can talk about all kinds of good habits, but you have to know where they're getting you. Where are they getting you? Are they aligned with your goals, your dreams, and your true self? So if you want clarity in life, you need to know where you're headed. You need to set goals and you need to make them really, really big. So, we're talking about here, JRSSH. What do you want to do in the future? Maybe as you're getting ready to retire, what do you want to do next? Where do you want to be in 10 years or in 20 years? Don't worry about where you are right now in life. It doesn't really matter if you're 30 or 50 or 70 or 90. There is no end to what you can achieve at any age and at any point. But you gotta think bigger. What is your big inspired goal? What is it you've always dreamt about? And what is seems outrageous to others, but you know in your heart is what you need to do? That is your North Star. That is the direction that you need to head. Now, think about it. We're going to talk a little bit about concept of, where you're going and your time horizon and who you're going to be in the future. Now, my question for you is, are you the same person you are today that you were 10 years ago? I know for me, I'm not. And yet, people set goals and plans as though they'll be themselves, but just a little bit older. But that's not the case at all. You'll be a totally different person in 10 years. If I look, I'm 51 right now. If I look at where I was at 41 10 years ago, so much about me has changed. So much about me has changed. I'm even doing things differently than I did back then. I mean, I don't, I do all kinds of things differently. My personality is substantially different. I'm just not the same person. I have the perspective I've gained over the last 10 years. I've had unreal experiences that I never imagined having that have changed the way that I look at things. So when I plan where I'm going to be in 10 years, I look at it and go, I will have a completely different frame of reference 10 years from now, so I can set goals that aren't based on what I know today. I can set goals based on who I'll be in the future. So there's this concept called prospection, and it's a philosophical or psychological principle. It's about the ability to mentally represent and evaluate possible futures. It's a fundamental psychological skill that includes planning and imagining future scenarios. And when we envision future scenarios, a lot of times we limit ourselves to what we know now. But yet, there are no limits. And our goal in this workshop is to open our minds to think without limits. So, as a young lawyer, I worked myself so hard that I got a MS, multiple sclerosis. I woke up one morning and I couldn't lift my left foot. And then 2 days later, I lost the ability to hold a pen or to type with my right hand, which is kind of crucial for law school exams. And this was like 2 weeks before exam time, my second year of law school. And I was pulling all-nighters on the regular. And my nervous system was telling me to slow the heck down. I was just been elected editor-in-chief of Law Journal and president of my class, and I had all A's and B's, and I was trying to, I had a job offer at a big law firm, and I was trying to do everything and I was trying to prove something to somebody. I don't know who, but, my body told me that I needed to slow down. And, as a young lawyer, I lost sight in each of my eyes due to lesions of my optic nerves. And, our body is miraculous, though, and it heals itself if we care for it properly. And thank God I've now gone almost 19 years without another flare-up. Now, I did slow down a little bit, but as a lawyer and then entrepreneur and a young parent, I wasn't listening to that still small voice inside. And I didn't learn the lessons that I should have learned back then. I was just running in circles, hoping for things to get better. For years, I saw these sad eyes looking at me in the mirror, wondering why I hadn't hit my potential. And I knew I wasn't living as my true self. And Dr. Tony, that word is called prospection. Prospection. And also, if I didn't say it earlier, we're going to make all of the recording from today, as well as the slides and everything available. Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Chad. Put that back up there. Prospection is that, that ability to psychologically represent different scenarios and predict an outcome, but you don't do it based on where you are today. You do it based on where you could be in the future. And so going back to the story of listening to my inner voice in the summer 2018, I had a complete awakening. I mean, it was spiritual as well as personal, but in that, I won't necessarily go into it, but I decided then that I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I decided to start working on improving myself and listening and growing again. Now, I've done intense study on personal growth and aligning our goals with our habits over the last 7 years. And this journey, this 7 year journey, has been extraordinary and taken me to a place of deep personal alignment with my true self and led me to personal, professional, and spiritual growth. And that's why I want to share this with you, because it's been so profound in changing my life. And I want to do the same for you. And once I saw the light in the mirror, it dawned on me. I'm meant to inspire others. That's what my true self is meant to do. That's what that still small voice inside had been telling me for all those years. Living as a lawyer and then clean energy entrepreneur isn't living as my true self. Now, I was decent at them, but it wasn't living as my true self. And I wasn't making enough impact every day. I was helping institutions and businesses, and yeah, there were great people at those organizations, but I wasn't inspiring people every day. Writing books and inspiring you is my true calling. What is your true calling? People often ask me, what's my purpose in life? We're going to help you find that purpose and live as your true self. In the immortal words of Nelson Mandela, who lived fully through struggle and triumph, there is no passion in playing small, in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. I want you to live the life of your dreams, which you can do today by living as your true self. You can't live the extraordinary life of your dreams by playing small, by just going through the motions. Like Mandela said, there's no passion in playing small. Don't go through the motions at work. Make your motions work. We are here today to set big goals and then create a clear path to achieve those goals, followed by habits that will make your future come to life. That's how you're going to thrive for the rest of this year, and that's how you're going to make habits stick in 2026. Be bold and be specific. Another great quote by famed business strategist and author of the book Good to Great, which is sort of a business must read, is if you have more than 3 priorities, you have none. We're going to set no more than 3 big goals. Everyone is so scattered nowadays trying to do everything well that we give everything only our partial attention. So if you want to set habits that are going to stick in 2026 and achieve big goals, you have to limit your focus, and say no. Say no to a lot more. Create boundaries. Stick to your goals and your true self. The true self system that we have designed helps you refine your goals and then set daily habits that will make realizing your goals inevitable. So here's what I do. First, and again, we're going to make all this available to you. Don't feel like you have to write all this down. We also have worksheets to go with this that are going to help you, identify your true self, set your big goals, and then implement habits to make realizing those goals inevitable. So here's what I do. First, I envision a future version of myself, 10 years in the future, who is happier, kinder, and wiser than I am now. I meditate on that person. I go and meet that person in my mind, my future self. I spend time with him. And I then write a letter from my future self to my current self, which is usually filled with grace, encouragement, and pride. Then I imagine meeting myself again, but only 3 years in the future, on my way to that big future. And I choose 3 years out because it's far enough for substantial change to occur, but not so far that you can't clearly imagine getting to 3 years from now. Then I fill out my True Goals worksheet according to that vision, which breaks your goals down from big ideas to tiny steps you can accomplish every day, your habits. I post my goals at my desk. Here's my goals worksheet, which has my annual goals, my quarterly goals, and my monthly goals. And it's 1, 2, and 3. This is November. I have to print out December, which I already have done. So we're going to provide that True Goals worksheet for you. But when you get the recap email, we're going to send you that goals worksheet so you get it. So you want to make your goals big and simple. You want to take away all the noise and all the nonsense that wastes your day, meaning all the phone distraction, all the notifications, all the getting into other stuff that, you should be doing, Eva Marie, related to doing your CEUs. You strip away all the nonsense that wastes your day, get rid of all the distraction, and just focus on your goals. Because I want you to get ready to climb higher in 2026 than you ever have before, because it is your time to thrive. So now I want to take you through a brief visualization, and we're going to spend just a few minutes doing this, but it says 5 minutes there, but honestly, you should be spending about 15 minutes doing this. So we're just going to do this for about 3 minutes. And what I want you to do is imagine if today, on the other side of this Zoom, is yourself 10 years from now, fully alive, successful, peaceful, confident, whoever you envision yourself as 10 years from now. And remember, that concept of prospection, or what Mandela said, there's no passion in playing small, in settling for a life that is less than the one you're capable of living. Make that vision big. Imagine yourself 10 years from now. What do you notice about that person, your future self? Go meet your future self. What are they wearing? How do they carry themselves? How do they spend their days? Ask them a question. What wisdom do they have to share with you? We're going to just take 3 minutes here, but honestly, I want you to do this for 15 minutes to a half hour to meet your future self. But right now, today, meaning you can do that longer meditation another time. But for now, just take 3 minutes and meet your future self. What do they have to show you? Do as we did earlier. Just close your eyes. Return to your breath. Breathe in and out through your nose. And go meet your future self. And see what wisdom they have to share with you. Okay, take just another 30 seconds or so. Sorry to bring you back from envisioning your future self. All right. Now, hopefully in that short period of time, you were able to meet your future self, your true self. And if you can, take out your journal or piece of paper and write down, what did your future self show you? And meaning your future self 10 years from now. But then, what are 3 big goals that align with your future self? They could be goals to accomplish 10 years from now, or even just 3 years from now. But or even next year. But what are 3 big goals? It can even just be 1, but no more than 3. Like Jim Collins said, if you have more than 3 priorities, you have none. So, what are up to 3 goals, 3 big goals that align with your true self, that future self that you just met? And take just like 2 minutes to think about what your future self showed you, about who you were meant to be, and what are up to 3 big goals that align with your future self. Take 2 minutes to journal that. And by all means, if you want to share those, once you've got them down, we're going to take 2 minutes to do that. You can put them in the chat or raise your hand on Zoom. Just maybe 30 more seconds. Again, these are things to do later as well. All right. Hopefully you enjoyed that time of meeting your future self. And we will, provide the worksheets, etc. Sorry to see you go, Dr. Tony, but hopefully you can join us for another one. We will send you the recording and the workshop. Next week we have the Focused and Free Break the Distraction Cycle workshop coming up. Hopefully you can enjoy that next week. So thanks for joining us. All right. So if you do want to share, and you can put in what are 3 big goals that align with your future self. So if you want to include that, by all means, go ahead. But, I also just want to mention that version of you that you just met, confident, calm, and clear, they're not that far away, but they live on the other side of clarity and aligned habits. And JRSSH, your future self is experiencing your soul from within and learning to heal from a spiritual perspective. That's absolutely beautiful. And I have gone through that journey over the last few years and, healed a lot of those wounds from the inside out, and that's why I love sharing. I mean, if you do see it, I'll be publishing my book, The Light in the Mirror, soon, which is about, undertaking the practice of saying I love you every day in the mirror, and then, watching that light glow and grow, and seeing the light in the mirror is you. Um, and it's led me to a place of deep spiritual uh, grounding and healing, and that's part of the reason I do love sharing and inspiring others, because I've gone through that journey, and I'm on that journey still of deep soul alignment and spiritual alignment, awakening, and it's something I love sharing with other people. So I really appreciate you sharing that, and I love that you were able to see that when you envisioned your future self. Deborah, you have a hand raised.
There we go. This time I got it. Thank you for sharing from your heartbed. I had the wonderful, wonderful privilege of when my husband and I were working together in Rescue Mission Ministries, Christian Bible-based ministry to the homeless in the greater Bay Area of San Francisco. I had the wonderful privilege of teaching women and children in our long-term recovery program. And I absolutely fell in love with it. I fell in love with them. I love teaching. I just was like, oh my gosh, this is my sweet spot. Don't anybody move anything. Don't touch the picture. Don't touch the dials. But so I'm currently volunteering in a children's after-school Bible club called the Good News Club, and I really am enjoying it. And I'm like, okay, this is good. It's already pre-crafted and pre-scripted, which is wonderful, as I'm adjusting. But I do so long for that opportunity again to be teaching and crafting the lesson. And working with the women, I just really enjoyed it, and children, and the children as well. I also use music and puppets, to. I really enjoy them, and I love studying. So I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do those three things. I want to practice my music and creative expression, and I want to study. I love studying theology. I just love it. I'm like. I'm calling out, like telling somebody, like I'm in the room by myself and I'm like, this is so good, listen to this. And I just love teaching. I just love people. And women's Bible study was I just found my sweet spot. And I could almost cry. I miss it so much. But
I mean,
yeah.
I think you can get back to it. I mean, I think I've said before too.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something about being with people that makes a big difference. But I will say, even virtually, you could reach potentially more people. I mean, create some of those lessons and have, a women's group that allow, and I realize, some of those folks may not have access to, computer and online, but most people do have phones. I mean, you can certainly create outreach and allow, your, ministry to reach even more people. So, you can look at that as a goal, or maybe combine, you could do in-person teaching, but you could even video it and stream it. Chad had the idea the other day I'm teaching my first public yin yoga class. I got certified last year, and it's just something I used to love doing for myself, but I wanted to share that with others. And I wanted to deepen my understanding. So I took, a 100-hour teacher training last year that ended in December a year ago. And this weekend I'm actually going to be teaching my first class. I've taught other teachers before, but now I'm about to teach to the public, called Sacred Stillness. But Chad had the good idea of live streaming that, so you can do it both in person and share with people. So that's one idea for you, Deborah.
Please. Okay. And I'd like to join the distraction workshop.
Focused and free. Yeah, we will have that. Yep, that'll be next week. That's next Thursday, same time at noon Eastern.
Okay.
9 a.m. Pacific. So yeah, if we haven't sent it to you, we'll send it to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else want to share anything their future self may have shown them, or three big goals that may align with their true self, or any goals?
Well, I'll share.
Yep. Thanks, Laverne.
Laverne. Hey,
Yep.
I think that first I'll just say just the opportunity to sit and dream was really very good for me, and I remember loving to dream, and so this just brought me back to that point. But I'm now in a different point in my life where I'm 73. So it's like, okay, that's a good question. What do I see in the future? Because I'm at the point where, I've done everything that I've felt like I was supposed to do in this life and be responsible, the work life, the children, the family, all of that. So now it's like, what do I want to do? So it was a great opportunity to look at that. And one of the three things I came up with was because I was obeying the rules, and that was unusual for me. I used to do my own rules, but since I did that, it was great, really great. For me to look at the future. And one of the things I talked about, one of the first goal was I want to always be that soul, spirit, true self that I am. That's what I'm foresee for me now and in the future. So that's the first grounding part I thought about goal. The other one was to have fun. I'm ready for that, just unconditional, unlimited, fun.
Go
Just
get it.
fun,
Go
like
get it.
whatever it is, whether it's travel, whether it's being, had playing cards or whatever. Just, I just want that sense of freedom of fun. So I'm looking for that in the future as well as now. But the other thing is to be in love with me. I heard you
Yes.
say, Ben, and that was the thing, to look in the mirror every day, to wake up every morning and be in love with myself, but to be in love with life. Just really just every day be so just like full of joy around life, and then living life. And then a partner. I'm looking for a partner that wants to also be in that sort of fun and enjoying life and loving themselves too. So that's kind of what I saw.
It's beautiful, Laverne. I mean, I think you've got a very bright future ahead of you. I want to say too, at 73, there's a guy named Dan Sullivan. He heads up, it's called Strategic Coach. It's a, like entrepreneurs advisory group. It's one of the biggest in the world. But at 75 years old, he set his 25-year plan.
Yes.
And he is excited and engaged to go do it, for business and personal life.
Yes.
And, it's amazing today that, with breakthroughs in health and science, people live so much longer. And, my dad's 82. He's a pediatric radiologist. He works 6 days a week at the hospital, children's hospital. It's incredible. And,
Yes.
I used to think I'm getting older, at 51. Now I realize, I may not even be half done yet. So, at 73, make a 10-year plan, a 20-year plan.
Right.
You will find that partner, you will have fun, you will see love, and you will get all those things. So I love that you've gone through this. I really hope you'll take the time to do it even longer.
Yes.
Do that visualization, do that dreaming, that, we're talking about, that, Eva and Eva Marie both said, just love that opportunity to do. I mean, I meditate every morning. I mean, I spend, a half hour meditating every morning, eyes closed in, lotus position, which I used to think looked nuts, but now I do it. I've been doing it every day for almost 7 years. And I mean, that's, I say, people say, what's the difference between meditation and prayer? And I say, meditation is talking to God without asking God for anything.
Mm-hmm.
You're letting God talk to you. You're just quieting your mind and listening to, what your higher power is telling you.
Yes.
And, it's dreaming, but it's also touching into the source of all that is. So I do encourage folks to take that time to really, dream, meditate, pray. And that is your true voice. That is your inner voice, your true self, and your higher power telling you which way to go. And you got to listen to it. And then, as you see, we do lots of journaling prompts. Write down what you hear. But then you'll hear me say a little bit later in this workshop, don't wait. Turn what you wrote down into action you can take today. So we're next going to get into implementing some of the habits that are going to help you get there. So thank you guys so much for sharing. Eva Marie, I see you're trying to figure out how to start over at 68 more than dreaming, but, successfully doing. So we're going to talk about successfully doing. So we're going to get into that now. But, I do want you to know that version of you that you just met, I want you to take time to, spend a half hour or so doing that, writing down what you see when you meet your future self, confident, calm, clear. It's not that far away. And you find that when you start living as that person now, you become it far sooner than 10 years. But, that person lives on the other side of clarity and aligned habits. And the truth is, you don't think your way into becoming your future self. You have to experience your way into it. And that's exactly why habits are so important. They're how you make your living as your true self a reality each day. And becoming your true self and living your life on purpose can take years or even decades. And sadly, most people never even get there. Aligned habits shape your identity over time, which is why we created the True Self Project, this 30-day habit challenge that we're about to release. Through this 1-month experience each day for 30 days, you just get immersed in actions, lots of actions that help you make a habit of living as your true self, so that you can live as your true self in just 1 month instead of taking a lifetime. So I'm going to talk about it a little bit more later, but just know that it's real and it's coming soon. And I've dumped tons of time and money and resources into creating a way to bring our dreams to life. So we'll talk about it in a little bit, but now we want to talk about building habits that reinforce who you are, so that you know that we're going to turn your vision of your true self into repeatable, grounded action. Your habits, which are your daily practice in becoming your true self. So, like I said, when I first began the daily regular practice of meditating and journaling 7 years ago, it felt difficult and awkward. And I don't know why it felt awkward. I mean, I was embarrassed that maybe my wife or kids would walk in while I'm sitting there, crazy guy in lotus position. But you know what? I don't know if I was embarrassed for them or me or what, but I stuck with it and it became natural and heartfelt and habitual. And now it's a part of my daily life. And habits, both good and bad, are hard to break. And heaven knows I've had my bad habits, like, smoking or using weed or staying up too late. But it's a lot easier to break bad habits when you have good habits and positive reinforcement to replace them. In the words of Aristotle, we are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Positive habits are the key to making your dreams that you just dreamt about and your goals real. To get into a routine of positive habits, it's worthwhile to track your habits. There's a saying by Peter Drucker that says, you can't improve what you don't measure. So we want to measure and track that which you want to improve. So you don't want to wait for your future to happen. You want to start being that person now. You want to start being your future self now. So it doesn't have to be profound or difficult. You want to make it simple. And this habitually inspired habit tracker that we created, like, here's mine. I track my habits every single day. And I've been doing this Chad gave me a habit tracker, habit roadmap, I think about 5 years ago, almost 6. And then we created this year. So you want to start tracking and track up to 10 daily habits. So we created this habitually inspired habit tracker, which we'll send you a habit tracker at the end, either later today or tomorrow when you get the recording. So here's what I'm currently tracking. And a lot of these I've been tracking for a while, but they change a little bit. But, sleep by 10, wake by 5, meditate, journal, 1 hour flow. I've actually changed this month this is back from August, the one up there. I've changed it to 90 minutes of flow on my top priority each day. Read a spiritual book, read the Tao Te Ching. Now I consume positive content. Shoot a short video I've added as well, so that I'm creating inspirational content for people. Exercise or yoga, and PM journal, meaning journaling my big 3 priorities for the next day, my wins for that current day, and how I want to show up tomorrow. So anyway, it's broken up by week. You just write the habits that you want to work on. I think we made available. You can also download our habit tracker at any time here on our website by clicking the link in the chat. And you just want to track habits you want to work on, like practice regularly to help you improve. Um, they're going to help you hit your personal, professional, and spiritual goals. Like we mentioned, doing your CEUs, or, playing golf, or setting a new relationship, or finding a new job. Those things that improve your mind, your body, and your spirit. And Eva Marie, what I mean by flow on a top priority each day is that means I schedule 90 minutes with no distractions where I'm going to get my number one priority done early in the day. They call it eat the frog. You eat the hardest thing, you do the hardest thing first, and then everything else feels like smooth sailing. So you do your an hour of flow or 90 minutes of flow on your top priority. So you get into a flow work state where you're not distracted by calls and emails and texts and social media. You put on positive, inspiring music, and you create whatever that is, whether it's doing, some work assignment, or typing something, or writing, or shooting a video, or, helping people, whatever it is. 60 90 minutes of flow on your top priority. It's a great way to get, your goals accomplished. So anyway, you can track your habits by doing this, but you want to make it intentional. Like, I lost 30 pounds from tracking my intermittent fasting. So whether it's a work goal, or a fitness goal, or a financial goal, just focus on what you want to improve and start tracking it. And try to make those habits that will help you achieve your big three goals. So your habits don't necessarily have to be directly tied to your goals. It could be more about turning you into the person that would achieve those big goals. And the habit tracker is a great way to do it on paper, or even digitally. But if you're doing it digitally, don't look at the phone for the first hour of the day. I've been tracking for over 5 years. And remember that quote by Aristotle: we are what we repeatedly do. Excuse me, I'm choking. So anyway, it may change slightly from quarter to quarter, month to month, based on what you're working on or trying to improve. So, excuse me.
Take your time.
Woo!
Yeah, take your time.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
All right. I think I'm good now.
Okay.
So anyway, yeah, I wrote my book in just 6 months because I had on my habits write from 5:30 to 7 as my first activity of the day. So when there are no disruptions and, my brain is in the right state, I did that for 6 months straight and wrote my book. And that habit helped me hit the goal of writing in just 6 months because I did it every day and I tracked it. So I made the commitment to myself and I hit my goal. Now, do I get every single habit done every single day? Sadly, no. Look, life gets in the way, and I may miss one or two of my habits, but on the days when I'm at my best, I hit them all, and those days become more frequent the longer I track my habits. So I make time for them, and I make sure I do these things like my life depends on it. And you know what? My future self does depend on it. And I can't reach my goals if I'm not doing these habits. And as I go along, I have more days at my best, and I hit them all more often. Again, that which is being measured is improving. So track what works for you. Yeah, look at your goals that you're setting. We talked about setting 3 big goals. Look at those goals you're setting, and what do you need to do to hit those goals and make those areas your daily habits? That person you envision. What is the person you dream of being do each day? You journaled about that vision of yourself in 10 years. What does your future self do that you aren't doing now? You want to pick those things and be that person by practicing each day, and you'll quickly become that person. And it'll be a lot faster than 10 years. You start becoming that person almost immediately. My life is improving each day because I'm tracking that which matters most to me, and I'm holding myself accountable by tracking it, and I'm living as my true self. So you want to start living like, dressing like, and being that person that you envision. That person you're meant to be, your true self. It is you, but it's different than the person you are now. It's the person you're meant to be. It's the person you will start becoming. So the question is, who do you want to become? And also, not just who do you want to become, but are you fired up to become that person? Jim Rohn said, Motivation is what gets you started. Habit is what keeps you going. We're here to live aligned, to set big goals that energize you for the future. But this time, we're going to make accomplishing those goals inevitable because we're going to put habits in place that make achieving those goals so much simpler and make it inevitable to realize your goals because you put habits in place. You don't just set big goals and hope you get there. You put habits in place, you set the goals, you put habits in place to help you get there. So I want you to take just 1 minute here and maybe just quickly write down a couple habits or 5 to 10 habits that will help you achieve the big goals that you wrote earlier. So and again, these are things we're going to make the habit tracker available to you and the True Goals worksheet. So just take a few moments here and write down habits that'll help you achieve your big goals you wrote earlier. All right. So again, this is something you want to do later. I know, I'm not giving you a ton of time to do it, but I'm trying to keep us on track, and I know we're going to go a little bit over today. So I'd rather us have time to share like we did. That was great. So I'm going to cut it a little bit short. So take the time after we're done here. You will get the habit tracker and the True Goals worksheet, and take some time to put these habits in place and then use the habit tracker every day. It's absolutely transformed my life, and it's central to the True Self system. So, now we're going to talk about, overcoming setbacks and building resilience so that nothing can stop you. When you set aligned goals and build the habits to match, you're not just chasing results, you're becoming someone new. But we got to be realistic because life gets in the way so much. So I was thriving on my Q2 goals and working on my habit tracker and doing great. And then it's Memorial Day weekend, and I mentioned we have 5 kids. My wife ruptured her Achilles dancing at a kids party at a bar mitzvah. And our life absolutely stopped. I mean, she was bedridden for almost 2 months. She had to have surgery. And I was, packing every lunch. I was transporting everyone everywhere. I was tucking everyone in. I was doing all the laundry. I was doing everything. It makes you realize, what a partnership you got raising 5 kids when all of a sudden, I was taking care of her and everyone else. So it was tough. And, I forgot my daughter's shoes going to school one day. It was the second to the last day of school. And my then 3-year-old, she's now 4, Gloria, I forgot her shoes. We pulled up to school. I let the other kids out, and I'm like, Gloria, where are your shoes? And she and I go to Target, and I bring her back to school, and I'm like, I got to walk you in. She's like, why can't you drop me off? And I said, because I forgot your shoes, we got to go walk in. She said, Daddy, I forgot my shoes too. And it stopped me right then, because it made me realize, it's not all as big a deal as we think it is. I was so stressed, but it put it into perspective a little bit. But when you take a risk and you listen to your inner voice and pursue a path, It's not about whether you get to the end goal. There will always be twists and turns and ruptured Achilles and, work things get in the way, sickness gets in the way, family issues. It's not about the destination, but about who you become in the process. When you set big, audacious goals, even if you fall short, you end up much further ahead than you were before. And tracking your habits isn't a test. You're not competing against others. You're keeping track so that you can improve. And some weeks won't be as strong as others. Yet, if you want to live in bliss, then keep on tracking and improving. It's not always perfect, but the more you work at it and trust your true self as your guide, the more you stick to your healthy habits and come back to your true self, no matter how busy you are and what negativity impacts your life. You're never too busy or too distracted to just take 2 seconds to look yourself in the mirror and say, I love you. You got to keep going even when you don't feel it. In fact, when you don't feel it is the perfect time to reset. When your computer isn't working properly, you reboot. When things aren't going well and you're off your game, you want to reboot yourself. You don't do this, or I'm sorry, you do this by going back to your big goals and your habits and then just begin again. Don't beat yourself up if you haven't tracked for a few days or a few weeks. That is your reboot. That brings you back to your true self. It brings you back to accelerating towards your big goals. Your habits keep you going and help you get back to who you were meant to be. When a challenge, a tragedy, or even just a bad day knocks you off track, get back to tracking your habits and find your alignment with yourself again. Now, you can put in the chat, and I'm going to start closing there, but I do have one more question to ask you that you can put in the chat there. That's, what's one small action that you're going to take in the next 24 hours to move towards your true self? What's one small action you'll take in the next 24 hours to move towards your true self? And now, keep in mind, as a little hint, we are going to, like I said, make all these resources available to you. So, you'll have the habit tracker, you'll have the True Goals worksheet. I think we'll even provide you our High Performers Epic Daily Ritual guide as well. So, look, now it's time to climb. You can put those in the chat if you want, but I know we're going to go a couple minutes over, but it's time to launch. Staring at the stars is inspiring, but it won't make you an astronaut. It's time to launch. It's time to get on that shuttle on the launch pad and skyrocket into space. The voyage only begins, though, with the decision to climb aboard and soar to your destination. It's painful not being who you know you're meant to be. It's painful wishing you could be the person you see in your mind and you dream about, and it seems like it's either impossible or taking forever to get there. But it doesn't have to be painful. These are choices. This is your life to choose. You can either to continue to go through the motions at work, or you can make your motions work. You can stay in the harbor and stare at the sea, or you can cross the ocean. You can stay at that same painful job or create a career that you want. You can stare at the phone all day, or you can play with your kids. You can busy yourself on social media, or you can make real progress on your goals. During that flow state, you can sing the song you're meant to sing, or you can keep it bottled inside. These are all choices, and some of these are tough choices, but they are all yours and yours alone to make. And I love this quote by Elizabeth Appel about becoming who you're meant to be. It says, "And the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom." Your life is only created by you, and we all create our own reality by our mindset and the choices we make. You can choose to live a life of happiness and bliss by deciding to do so, but staying tight in your bud is far more painful than the risk it will take for you to blossom. At any stage, this holds true. It is never too late to be who you're meant to be. Be honest with yourself. Are you living the life you're meant to live? Are you achieving the one thing that inspires you the most? If not, it's time to blossom. It's time to live life inspired. You're capable of living an extraordinary life. Make it big. Don't play small. Don't settle. You know what you're capable of. You just need to get it down out of your head, down on paper, and then take action every morning to get you closer to who you're capable of being. But it can't be small, like Mandela said. You won't take any action if you have a small goal because it doesn't matter that much. As Les Brown put it, most people fail in life not because they aim too high and miss, but because they aim too low and hit. Don't aim for these low targets accomplished by menial tasks every day, by all the distractions on your phone. Aim high. You're meant to live an extraordinary life. If you invest in yourself and start what was recommended here today, you'll find true freedom and happiness. So you can make excuses or you can awake with intention, look in the mirror, lock eyes with yourself, and say, I love you. And then implement the steps prescribed today to return to your true self and be the person you're meant to be. Now, the journey isn't always smooth, and roadblocks always pop up unexpectedly. But the tools provided today help make the journey smoother and get you around the roadblocks faster. Those that love you are going to be there for you no matter what. I love you and will be there with you on this journey. I'm always happy to help guide you up the mountain as you climb to meet your true self. And as your feet hit the floor tomorrow morning, simply say to yourself, it's going to be an amazing day. I do this every morning as soon as my feet hit the floor. You're going to walk into the bathroom, step in front of that mirror, lock eyes with yourself, and say, I love you. And then go spread that light out into the world. The world needs your light to shine brightly now more than ever. As you awake with intention, with your goals set and your habits aligned, put down the phone, turn off the negative news, and just listen to your still small voice inside. Listen to yourself and your higher power, and then write down what you hear. But don't wait. Turn what you wrote down into action you can take today to live the life of your dreams, to be the person you are meant to be, to live your life of love, happiness, and bliss. Now, what you learned today is a solid foundation for living as your true self. But truly living focused and free takes practice and consistency. At the end of this month, we'll be releasing the True Self Project, the 30-day habit challenge, which is just a 30-day on-demand course where you can turn these lessons you learned today into a daily practice and start living confidently, undistracted as your true self in only a month rather than the years that it took me. So I'm going to save you a bunch of time. It's only $30. That's just $1 a day. And that's for 30 days of powerful transformation and alignment. And I think we put it in there. If you put in TSP 5 off today, you'll get $5 off since you participated in the workshop. So it's only $25. And you can pre-order the course now. And as soon as it's available, all the videos are shot. It's all done. We're doing the production now and any final edits, and we're about to launch it soon. So if you do sign up today, I'm going to do a free one-on-one coaching session during the challenge to help you stay on track for anyone that signs up today. So I think we also have, that discount code is there for registering today. And like I said, if you do sign up today, I'm also going to do one free one-on-one coaching session with you during the course of the True Self Project. So,
I'm sorry for interrupting. How do we sign up? I see the SKU code, but I don't know how to work those from my phone because I can't take a picture of it, obviously.
Yep, I think we can just put a link in there to it. Chad, we have a link for it? Yeah, I think we can put a link in the chat. They'll just take you to where you can sign up.
Thank you.
And when you go to sign up, don't forget to put in the code. Yeah, the code is right above there. There's the link for you to click. And the code is just TSP5 off. It's in the chat right there. And I just pasted it again as well. Okay, you got it. Great. And then, it's going to be really transformative. We're also going to do a course starting, like I said, January 8th. But I'm really excited about this True Self Project. We worked on it from July until the end of November. We're wrapped up. We've done all the filming and everything. I did a short video for 30 days. Love the content, and it's really inspiring. But it's a real system for taking just 1 month to live as your true self. It's a great thing we're doing. So I think we also have some homework today. So So if we want to go to that, you want to take at least 15 minutes to imagine your future self 10 years from now. That visualization we did, I want you to do that for at least 15 minutes to 30 minutes and then journal. How did you look? How did you carry yourself? What have you accomplished? What wisdom do you share with your future self? Or did your future self share with you? So go meet your future self. Do that for a little bit longer. And then try to write a letter from your future self, maybe 10 years out, to yourself today. That person that you met in your visualization. And keep it and refer back to it. I wrote one, I keep it on my desk. I read it, every couple months I go back. I see how much compassion that person had for me. And, when I feel like I'm falling short, I realize how far I've actually come. And so it's a great, great tool. So that's your homework. By all means, follow us. We continue to put more and more, we've only been doing this about a year, but we keep providing more and more inspiring content up, mainly on Instagram, but we also post articles and things on LinkedIn and on TikTok. So, our Inspiration Nation community keeps growing, and we really appreciate you being a part of it. And we also, are posting videos and meditations and helpful content on YouTube as well. And Deborah, to answer your question, the January course is going to be an 8-week challenge course. So we have a live coaching session like this once a week where, I'll give a lecture, we'll do some shares, we'll do some exercises. That's for 8 weeks. It's to kick off the year right and make sure that these habits truly stick. So we're going to be providing more information about that probably in about the next week, probably next week sometime. Someone will be reaching out to you about it. Okay. All right. When does the True Self Project launch? I think it's launching in about 2 weeks. I don't think we have an exact date yet. Chad, do we have an exact date for the True Self Project launch? Not exact yet. All right, yeah. We're going through the final edits on the video, so it should be about a week, maybe 2 weeks. So it'll definitely be out very, very soon. So thank you all so much. I really appreciate. Sorry, we're about 5 minutes over. I try to keep it tight, try to keep it about an hour and a half, but I absolutely love the shares. I'd rather go over a little bit and have people share and provide some good information. Thank you so much, Michelle. I appreciate it. I'm really excited for this yoga class on Sunday at 3:00 here in Stowe, Vermont, at the Trapp Family Lodge. If anyone's seen The Sound of Music, Von Trapp family opened this beautiful lodge and resort in Vermont like 50 years ago. I'm going to be teaching this yoga class there. So thank you so much.
Is that live? Are you going to go live stream on that, Ben?
I'm not going to yet, but we will. I'm going to ask them if we can do that. Chad just made that suggestion.
I just want to affirm you. I'm even more super excited than the last 2 workshops, just because I've been practicing, and it's like, oh yeah, some of the synapses are clicking and joining.
Yeah.
So
no,
yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, I've been doing this, for 7 years, and I continue to learn more and get better and better at, tracking and setting goals and keeping with it. It takes a lot and takes constant reinforcement and support. Like I said, I have a accountability partner. She and I support each other in that. And, you can fall off a little bit and then get back on. But yeah, you constantly learning and constantly doing more. And Eva Marie, the January coaching, we are going to make that information available to everyone the next week or so.
Just as a quick example of how you kind of inspired me, my husband and I both got COVID my first time. And I said, COVID is going to be my accomplishing period. So I'm going to recover, and I'm going to be using it as a resource to accomplish many great things. So I just every day just got up and did something, towards my goals and getting things moving and kind of eliminating extraneous distractions.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Eva Marie, let me know if you come up here. The Trapp Family Lodge, I just put the name of it. You can look it up. And they may have my yoga stuff on there under wellness. But anyway, we'll go ahead and call it unless anyone has anything else. But I appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, so much for all the wonderful sharing and support and for being here, and look forward to, launching True Self Project and our Habit Sticks in 26. We haven't decided on the name yet, but maybe that may be the name of it. But our 8-week course is going to be great, and
Ben,
we're going to have.
do you have a fee yet for the 8-week course? Just kind of trying to save up.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I think we did it last year. I think it was around $500, like $499 or so. But
Okay,
yeah, we'll be finalizing that in the next week or so.
thank you. Thank
Okay.
you.
Yep. Thank you. All right, great. Thanks, everyone. Have an absolutely wonderful week. And like I said, we have the distractions workshop focused and free coming up next week. Thank you. Bless you all. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Bye-bye.